Betty, can you paint a picture for me of what the Devonian period looked like, the landscape?
The temperatures were hot because we were about 25 degrees south of the equator at this time, sort of just on the edge of the tropics, but it was semi-arid. If you imagine a land area with an ocean to the south of us, so we're on the old red sandstone continent.
Right here?
Right here. The ocean's maybe about 200 kilometers to the south of us.
Okay.
To the north of us, quite a long way, we have high mountains. You know, we're talking like the Himalayas.
Wow.
And washing down from those mountains are quite large rivers. The water is eroding those mountains, washing across a flat plain. So we call it an alluvial plain. So they're bringing down sediment and spreading it across this flat plain towards the sea.
So what kind of rock does that ultimately form?
This rock is red because of the sediment being exposed to the atmosphere. So the iron within the sediment rusts, it joins with oxygen in the air and it turns red.
It's not particularly red here where we are. Why is that?
Yeah. It's telling us here that this sediment perhaps wasn't exposed to the atmosphere. It may have been wet all year round.
The old red sandstone from the Devonian period lies in the ridge and valley landscapes that run across much of southwest Ireland, from the Dingle Peninsula into County Cork.
How long did the Devonian period last?
All in all, about 60 million years.
Okay, the rock formation, the sedimentation didn't really change that much, but there was a lot of change going on with respect to the life forms, wasn't there, Ken?
Well, the Devonian is often referred to as the period when we had the greening of the continent.
Oh, wow, okay.
The land plants before that were in the Silurian, which is the period before, were very small. Most of them were in the water, algal.
During this period, plants with stems and leaves, or vascular plants, started to appear on the land.
Now that's important that they're vascular, because the vascular tissue is like the plumbing system of a plant. It brings water from the substrate through to the aerial parts of the plant. It needs to have roots, and it needs an aerial system to gather light. As we go through the Devonian into the Middle Devonian, plants evolve, which allow the plants to get bigger and to grow into forests and trees.
And all of that incredible knowledge comes from observing the rocks today and the fossilized remnants of plants.
The plant remains, exactly.
So what kind of plant remains have you found?
These are simple plant stems. There's no sign of any leaves or any other plant structures just here. So it's very difficult with just the stems to make an identification of what type of plant it was.
And what else have you found?
There's an isolated leaf, which we can see here.
That's so beautiful.
Yes. Now that leaf is very instructive because it's very distinctive, spiky, digitated leaf.
Yeah.
And that's distinctive of a plant called Archaeopteris physalis, which evolved in the Middle Devonian. And we believe that the spikiness of the leaf was to reduce transpiration, water loss from the plant surface.
So indicating that it was still an arid environment, it had to preserve as much water as it possibly could.